at you right now. Nothing. Need a Uber right now. Right now. Need crew love right now. Cause we two up right now. Ooh, I'm up right now. Ooh, I'm up right now. First I pull up, hop out. Valet, walk out. All these bands I lost count. Cause I'm two up right now.
Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. With that, let's get up to Charlotte. Standing by our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL takes us to the Carolinas and Bank of America Stadium here in Uptown Charlotte. A short time ago, a scene that never fails to stir up the folks here in Charlotte. Cam Newton strutting his way onto the field. His guys are fired up as they get set to go toe-to-toe with the Atlanta Falcons. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they enter play here. They come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, they come in playing some decent football, 5-3 in their last 8 games.
And the way they played last week defensively, you look at the tape, it looks like they had extra guys on the field, and they thoroughly shut down that offense.
They go play action here on first down. And a diving grab. I think he got that. Yes. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. The numbers for him from a week ago. 4 catches, 55 yards.
And the competition gets a little bit tougher here because he's got to go against the #1 ranked defense in the NFL against the pass, the latest incarnation of the no-fly zone.
Here's the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
On second down, it's Bell. Shreds the tackle. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
I know flashy plays, splashy plays, as people like to call them, that attracts a lot of attention. But let's face it, when you're efficient, that can control a ball game. And I love the game plan they've got going right now.
Back-to-back 5-yard gains. Didn't force the ball downfield. Picked it up on the ground.
Yeah, offensive line, they're getting it done.
Now a play fake here on first down. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Looking sideline, incomplete. The intended receiver that time, Adam Humphries. And it's third down.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Out of the gun, Newton. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's fourth down. So on fourth down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi. Back deep, Isaiah McKenzie. They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. Space to maneuver at the 40. And he'll get this all the way up to the 42-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The numbers for Freeman a week ago. 15 carries, 71 yards, and a touchdown.
They've won 2 straight games. They've done it with the running game as the focal point of their offense. So in this contest, I don't think about doing anything else. I continue to ride the hot hand that I've established and lead with the runners.
And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and they're going to have a third down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball, because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Back to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Ridley. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on third down. They did.
Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to
nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Panthers have recovered.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, is going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into big.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Tack McKinley in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. And a play like that, with how far he had to go to make that sack, shows how athletic defensive ends have become in the NFL.
And not just athletic. This is coached in a big way. Run to the football at all times. How about him never giving up on it and pursuing all the way across the field?
He finds Humphreys. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a first down. On first down, Newton. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. 2nd and 10, Newton again. And it's incomplete.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
Throwing on third down, Newton. And he's got his target. That's more. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 15 yards through the air and a first down. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down. To throw on second down is Newton. Ertz has it left side. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. First target, first catch, and a first down.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one. And that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. Newton to throw. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone. Down this close to the goal line, first down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on first down in this situation because second down, that gives me an option of running play action and maybe throwing it.
Ready? Like it. Like it hot.
They go option right on second and goal. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a third down.
That's it, baby.
So it's third and goal, and now the question, can this Falcon defense stand tall once more? They'll try and run it in with Bell. And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. Le'Veon Bell, his 11th touchdown of the year. And his guys are able to strike for 6. Able to punch it in on third down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a fourth down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating what we have to make the call. They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
Isaiah McKenzie now on the return. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And here now come the Falcons. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Logan Ryan. And he will score. Touchdown, Panthers.
Now, that was a beautiful play. A pick 6. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
What do you mean, with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make the score 14-0. That's fielded in the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Freeman again, a first down carry. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead.
Detroit!
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's going to go down again.
If you rank one from the bottom in statistics, that's usually not good in this league. And this team, one from the bottom in sacks, but somehow they got 3 in this game. What's going on?
I know, they're 31 of 32. They better be careful, or they're going to be top 30 in the league. We'll call that a 49-yard punt with a return of just 2. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. Carolina getting set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Now Newton. It's caught. Humphreys. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Newton now 6 of 10 in this first half. He's got his guys a first down here. The give is to Bell. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
They'll pitch it out to Bell. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Back with more from Charlotte after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Heading back onto the field, here's a look at Devontae Freeman now. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Back to throw here. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. Trent Murphy in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Logan Ryan. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Now following the interception, here's Newton. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Back to the air, Newton on 2nd down. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
To throw on 3rd down. Newton, this is Bell on the dump off. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. It'll be a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Hey, we got 4 now.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He finds an opening past the 40. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. 15 yards through the air and a 1st down.
Detroit!
Looking to throw. He's going to sling this deep downfield. This is caught inside the 15. 4 seconds left, and there's the timeout. In field goal range and a chance to tack on 3 before intermission. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. And his kick is indeed good. So it's half. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or do they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. He'll drop to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So they convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And Bryant's got it over the middle. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
No. Check. Patriot.
Here's Coleman. So quick on the spin.
He's spinning, man.
And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. 11 more on that one and another 1st down.
The more football I watch, the more I want to check and see if teams are going to panic when they're down on the scoreboard. And this team has shown no signs of doing that. A lot of the time, they come out after the half. Things haven't worked so well in the first go-around. They want to throw the football like crazy. But the way to open up throwing the ball is to run it. And they've run it well here to start the second half. One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he get a good.
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. As his guys are in for 6, and the Falcons draw a bit closer. Now the extra point try forthcoming. Point after, right down the middle. And that slices the lead down to 17-10. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try and increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
On second down, here's Newton. Incomplete.
Well, Brandon, all receivers are trying to make sure that the defender thinks they're going to the middle of the field when they're running the outcut. On that play, didn't get it done very well because that one was batted down.
The Panthers on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. A shotgun snap for Newton. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Seeing that play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
And all the way down to the 29. A big run there by Freeman. Give him 42 yards on the ground. Trailing here in the third, and that run might just be the spark that this offense needs.
And don't you just get the sense that he's going around not just in the huddle, but looking over at the bench and saying, ball, give me the ball. Let me carry this thing home.
They'll look to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Bryant. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Martavis Bryant, his first touchdown on the year. And the Falcons are an extra point away from tying the football game.
All right, partner, let's go to cliche time. We're all back to even after that score tied the game.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that will level the playing field at 17 all. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And the Falcons score to cap it off. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
5 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it second down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
On third down, Newton. And an alley to run. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the first. So an instance there of Cam being Cam. We know he can use his legs.
And with that big body, it's hard to get him down, even if you get a clear shot on him. Plus, he moves it a lot faster than what people think. And boy, does he have fun playing the game of football.
All even as we get ready to start the fourth. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Now a first down carry by Bell. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the first, second, and third. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is, he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
A nice gain of 21 yards.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Now a first down throw for Newton. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call.
Holding offense.
So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Now it's Newton. Ertz over the middle. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now Newton. A screen to Bell. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to 3rd down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
They'll try and run for it with Bell. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it, get the first down, close it out.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
Leopard! Leopard! Gone! 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 Detroit! Detroit! Gone! 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 Gone!
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the 4th quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10.
Detroit! Detroit!
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Detroit!
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. And they get 14 yards there at a 1st down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Detroit! Detroit!
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Coleman. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Throw left side complete. It's Hodges. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And finding the tight end Hooper. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. It's a quarterback sneak. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. He'll wind up getting 2 there as he does it himself and picks up the first.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
No. Check. Patriot.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Falcons have broken our tie.
Hey, that score deserves our respect, deserves our excitement. But I'm looking at the clock, and I'm thinking, there's a long way to go in this one.
Ideally, they would have liked to milk a little bit more time off. Now, on the other sideline, you start to get the crew together and say, this is what we practiced the 2-minute drill for, right?
Yeah, you hope you've been in that situation before, and if you haven't, you just have the confidence, hey, let's go down there and get this thing done. But, boy, that's a big score right there to give them the advantage.
Carolina getting set to take the field. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situations. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Yeah, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Well, these corners, I tell you, they've done excellent work all game long.
They remind me of guys in the past who just said, hey, throw it out here 100 times. Nothing good is going to happen. And if you throw it in the wrong place, I'll take it the other way.
They'll look to throw. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, now 3rd and 10. And first things first, before you think about marching the ball down the field, you got to move the chains.
You're exactly right. Got to get back into focus here. Get the first down. That's what's vital to them.
The Panthers on 3rd down. Not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 10. Back to throw. Buying time to his left. He may try and run for this. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble. Back to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. He'll look to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. 3rd and long coming up. Defensively, you pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure, and if you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback, and then make sure you blanket the field.
He's back to throw. And that will be incomplete as well. This defense looking impenetrable now. 3 straight incompletions. They're giving him nowhere to go with the football. Maybe a little frustrated back there.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. When you've missed on 3 straight, there's going to be some frustration. But now he's got to make sure that that frustration is temporary, not lingering. Big throw coming up.
Now whistles. Flag down, and I believe one of the Panthers got moving early.
False start, offense.
So that'll back him up 5.
Still 4th down.
Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. He's going to let it fly. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant, and he's able to get it back to right around the 27. Boy, what a turnaround. They exited the lockers with a nice lead, and now all of this. What's happened?
So when you start to write your novel, you'll start out with, it was a tale of 2 halves, won't you?
Right, but I'm a bad writer.
I don't know exactly what happened because sometimes teams can go in with a lead and get too comfortable, too relaxed, and a couple of things go wrong, and it's hard to get back that good feeling.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Flushed out right. And that one drops to the ground. Incomplete. Clock stops here just inside of 20 seconds. 19 left. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
And he comes back with one complete. And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers, as they'll stop him with 13 seconds left to play. He'll look to throw. Bryant with a catch right side. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Gone! All right, here we go. Blue 90! Blue 90! Detroit!
Back to throw here. It's caught by Bryant. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Detroit!
They're going to look to throw. He's going to air one out. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end. But now this game is over. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Atlanta, the win will help them keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 6-3 on the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the Cincinnati.